Business owners, if you're still using Excel for your bookkeeping, it's time we had a quick but important conversation. Here's why that choice could be costing you time, money, and trouble with the IRS, and let's talk about what you should do instead. Earlier this month, I saw a post in a Facebook group where somebody was asking what kind of templates or Excel sheets they should use for their bookkeeping. And I completely understand because Excel is cheap, simple, and familiar. But as a professional who helps businesses grow and stay compliant in the eyes of the IRS, I had to jump in right then and there. Don't get me wrong, Excel is a great tool to use for planning, tracking, even quoting different customers. But when it comes to actual bookkeeping, it just doesn't cut it. The problem with Excel is that there's no automatic bank sync, meaning you have to sit there and manually add every single transaction that you had coming out of your bank account. You can't set up categorization rules, which usually leads to inconsistent or incomplete records. Another problem is that there's no audit trail, meaning it's very hard to produce records in case you've ever audited or just need to review it. And the last thing is that it's very limited in its reporting potential. Unless you're a master at pivot tables, it's going to get very complex very quickly. So as a business owner, what you actually need is some kind of system that's built specifically for your business. Something that would sync up to your bank account, auto-categorize your expenses, and produce reports that would be useful and different KPIs for your business. And then when it comes time to taxes, you would have everything ready to go for either your tax preparer or your tax accountant. So let's go over what you actually need to manage your business finances well. You need a reliable bank integration that would reduce the amount of manual work you have to do every single week, an auto-categorization of your income and your expenses, professional reporting for your tax filings and your business planning. And one of the most important things is having a cloud backup. You never want to run into a situation where your laptop or computer dies and that Excel file is still saved on it and you lose access to it forever. And if you're a business owner that's just starting out, I understand that sometimes finances can be a little tight. So if you want to use a free solution like Wave, that's totally up to you. And if the business starts taking off a little bit and you want something a little more solid and robust, you can switch to QuickBooks Online, which is what most accountants use. I want to share with you guys a real client story so you can understand why this stuff actually matters. I had a client come to me with over 2 years of financial records, and the worst part is it was all in Excel. They had no account reconciliations. They had no expense categories, no monthly summaries, just a bunch of rows, a bunch of numbers, and the worst part is it all came from multiple bank accounts. And that's what made it even more complicated because some of those accounts were personal and business. And that's a huge problem in the eyes of the IRS. The IRS can flag mixed use accounts and disallow certain deductions. Another big issue that can arise because of this is your LLC protection can be compromised because you're mixing your personal and your business assets in one place. This all creates a nightmare to untangle, and you have to pay thousands of dollars for somebody to go through these books and recreate them in an actual accounting software. That way your tax preparer can have a clean financial statement. We had to rebuild everything from scratch. Over 800 transactions had to be put into Wave. We had to separate the business from the personal and put it all into one clean record. That way we can produce a financial statement at the end so he can finally go ahead and file his 2 years worth of taxes. He spent way more money than he had to. Here's the thing, when you try to save money on spreadsheets instead of an actual accounting software, it can end up costing you way more in the long run. You can miss certain deductions, causing an increase in taxes. You don't have a clean financial record, which can cause issues with the IRS. There's no separation of business and personal, which causes LLC issues, and the fees that you pay for somebody to clean up your bookkeeping is going to cost you a lot more than if you did it right the first time. DIY in Excel might feel cheap at the time, but it can cost you a lot. Time, accuracy, and even your legal protection if anything ever goes sideways. So what would be the correct way to handle this? Start using real bookkeeping tools. Do it right the first time. Even if you're just a one-person shop, most of these tools are very, very user-friendly. And don't forget all the other benefits like automated bank feeds where you no longer have to manually input transactions. And if you have a lot of the same kinds of transactions, you can set up different rules that will auto-categorize everything and put it all where it's supposed to go. You can make better real-time decisions with your business because you always know exactly what's going on with your financials. whether you made money that month, whether you lost money that month. And one of the biggest positives of all this is having your financial statements ready just in time for taxes. That way you never have to go on extension and you don't have to end up paying penalties, interest to the IRS. As a business owner, you deserve a system that will support your business, not drag it down. If you're ready to ditch Excel and get your bookkeeping set up properly, I can help. Whether it's Wave, QBO, or a catch-up for the entire year, just go ahead and click the link in the description. Let's get your books working for you, not against you.